take my glasses off so I don't look as old
Going live.
as I do. Okay, that is live.
I think you actually look older.
Without my glasses?
Yeah.
No, I definitely look older with the glasses.
Only when you're peering over them.
You're like,
Oh.
Squinting to read your phone.
You know, if you shaved the gray hair off your face, that might help.
yeah, once this went through the gray,
Yeah,
I
if
was
you're concerned about looking old, then maybe reduce the gray hair.
Trust me, that's
Unless they have just for men, just for beards.
You know what? There was a time when I had something, I tried to color it in, and it just does not look good. I'm like, this is not.
No, and you shouldn't fight it.
No.
Aging is a beautiful thing.
No,
Women who fight it look like fucking idiots.
But you're right though. The beard, the big white beard, probably makes me look a lot.
You need to embrace the whole Santa thing. Actually, go for it.
It's all right. I'll pass. All right, I'm about to tweet this.
You don't want to get a tiny reindeer.
I just started getting my first few grays coming in, and I was like, I think I'm ready to embrace this.
Yeah, just run with it, dude.
Or you could hide it now for a little while, and then all of a sudden show up gray one day.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I'm not the hide it type.
I hear you. Okay, Colin, you have the tweet sent to you.
Okay. I'm not seeing it.
I just sent it. Maybe I'm.
Yums.
Did you get it?
No.
Maybe if I'm talking shit to Elon, I'm getting.
You're getting throttled.
He got it.
I retweeted it.
Crazy.
No. Okay. Well, we gotta go. So you can find it later.
Okay.
Maybe your shit's just not like. Do you have service?
I got the right account, right? Yeah. So
Okay. We're doing this.
Let's do it.
okay, ready?
Ready, Colin?
Yeah, I guess so.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna give you a thumbs up when we're.
All right.
Oh.
Pause. God damn it. Hold on. I didn't start on that.
What a mess.
I know. And John loves to play it when I mess up. Here we go.
Podcasting from the Sportique Studios, where honestly, we're just glad it's over. This is the South Stands Denver Fancast. I'm Colin Daniels with producer Scott Stafford, co-founder and vice president of All City Sports Network and DNVR, Ryan Koenigsberg, and your host, John Reed. Let's fucking go! Yeah!
Woo! Maybe my ears are bad, but that doesn't sound as loud as it usually does. Is that right?
Woo! There you go.
Yeah, that's too loud. Welcome to the show, everybody. South Stands Denver Fancast. I was gonna say, if we've got technical issues, it's because Ryan's here, and we're gonna discuss that in a second. Ryan, welcome back. It's been a while.
It's great to be here, man. This is I told you guys this before the show, but like this is what I dreamed of when I dreamed of a podcast studio.
Yeah.
This is just the way podcasting is meant to be.
It really is. It's you gotta decorate it with your flair. You gotta make it your own.
You got to have an unwieldy computer and a bunch of shit that breaks all the time.
Well, I think these guys, their equipment's a little better shape.
Probably a little better, yeah.
So, but the vibe's the same. So we want to make sure that. But welcome back. It's good to see you. We were trying to figure this out. You think maybe you've been on here twice before. I could have looked up the spreadsheet that Marcelo did, but There was a lost show. You're claiming there's a lost show. Now I remember,
By the grace of God.
by the grace of God, we gotta explain that because I don't remember that part. But I remember there was like the sound quality was really bad. Something went wrong and it sounded like shit. I thought we still posted it, but you're saying we didn't post it at all?
I don't think it got up. I don't think it ever made it out.
And why were you happy about that?
So I'm like 22 at this time.
Okay.
I had just taken the Broncos gig within months, and you guys invited me on here, and I was like, oh man, this is the coolest thing. And I remember Spano telling me like, hey, be careful. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, I mean, there's some people who have said some stupid shit on there before.
This is true.
Like Spano.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, hey, be careful. I'm like, yeah, I got this. I come here. I'm pretty sure I drank like 1.5 40s.
Mm-hmm, sure.
And we just got rolling. And I don't remember the exact details of what was said, but I remember like we were talking about like cocaine and like I think I like took some pot shots at Broncos PR, and I woke up the next morning mortified. I was like, "There's no way I fucking did that. Like, am I gonna get fired?" And the next thing I did was look at my phone, and Reedy had sent a DM being like, hey guys, I don't know what's going on. Like the audio is just completely unusable. I don't think we're gonna be able to post this. And I was like, I'm down to 8 lives now.
Well, thank God I wasn't here.
Yeah, true. I don't remember. It's honestly, it's hard to remember when somebody fucking goes off the rails because a lot of people have done it. I don't recall you going too far off the rails, so maybe it wasn't as bad as you thought.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking about it now. I'm like, if I did all of that now, I probably wouldn't be quite as worried about as like a brand new Broncos beat reporter, like fresh faced, new on the scene, like burning everyone.
Now you might be able to explain yourself a little bit. So, but I do remember something about cocaine. Colin, does that sound familiar?
I'm trying to recall which discussion about cocaine that was. No, I don't recall.
Okay,
I don't recall.
Either, but
things get blurry,
yeah,
especially
really
when you've done as much cocaine as I have.
Well, hopefully this one will post and it'll be fine. It'll sound good, and as you get deeper into that 40, you'll loosen up a little bit and maybe say some of the same things.
Yeah, this is actually day 2 of dry January for me. So
we're
really
wow, it's going good so far.
You know, I always wondered about that because we had people on here who don't drink and they like maybe in recovery or something. And we're all like, yeah, drinking beer. And I always think like, I don't want somebody to come in here and feel weird and have to be like, I got to drink.
Well, Peter Boyles is in recovery and has been for a long time, but he had no level of discomfort.
He's been around long enough where he'd be like, "Oh, you can't get me to drink.
Why
would I drink for you?"
And he totally called me out on my on my rationalization of my alcoholism. It was interesting.
I was just thinking like, it's like going to your friend's mom's house and not eating would be like me coming here and not like that's just rude.
Well, thank you for drinking, I guess. But you didn't have to. Like, because I've done dry January, but we would always go out to Vegas for the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah. And
I'd be like, tell my wife, I'd be like, hey, I'm going to do dry January, but I got to take a little break.
Yes.
When I go out there, and then I'll pick it back up and maybe try to go.
Here's what I do, and this has been my plan the last couple of years, and it's my plan again this year, is between Wild Card Weekend and the Super Bowl, I do a little abbreviated 3-week dry January.
That's 2 weeks, dude.
Yeah, okay, it's good enough for me.
Peter Boyles would have called you out on that. So
yeah,
like you're trying to make this longer.
Man.
So, speaking of Vegas, you just got back from Vegas. We're going next weekend, so we wanted to talk to you about it. Not like we haven't been there before, but you guys set up shop at Circa, which is fucking awesome.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it's so cool because we've been there a bunch, and I've never stayed there, but we always go in there to the sports book, and it is just amazing. Like it's almost like a sports book from like a futuristic movie, right?
It's unbelievable. We watched the games on Saturday night there at the sports book. Obviously, it wasn't exactly stadium swim weather, but the pool TV setup out there is unbelievable. And like that whole place, first of all, I'm kind of like a Fremont Street guy.
So are we, or at least we were, but our stupid fucking buddy Snyder has got all these MGM rewards.
He's too high class.
He's like, I'm not going to stay downtown when I could be sleeping for free at fucking Aria.
Which is fair, but I didn't even make my way into the Strip this time, and someone told me that they were at New York of all places on Saturday night, and the lowest table they could find was $50.
Oh, fuck that.
And I'm just like, what? That's like not That's just not fun.
No.
So, you know, I love Fremont Street and I love gambling down there. And then to be able to like have that and then go back to your like Oasis at
Which
Circa.
is, the Circa is the strip on Fremont
Yeah,
Street.
so that's nice because Circa's so nice you can like go back and then forget you're on Fremont Street.
Yes.
You know, whereas I've been there at the Four Queens, like next to the sign. Like the signs, fuck one of the signs. It's just like
In your eyes.
Yeah, it's just awful and it just sucks. And then you're like, I'm probably getting bed bugs. I don't know, but
all the hookers have one arm.
but if you were at Circa, I could
half
see how
queens.
that would be a lot better. So, but yeah, we love Fremont Street. It's great. It's a great time. I like those the bars that go right out to the street. You know,
Oh, yeah.
you just sit there and watch people. It's very cool. But yeah, now we're all highfalutin. We got to stay at these nice places. So.
I always say the strip is Lodo and Fremont is Colfax.
There you go. That's a good.
Yeah,
analogy.
Fremont is Colfax.
Oh,
That's a
it
very good analogy.
It definitely is. Every time like I see like stuff pop up in my phone, and there was like a video from a couple years ago, and it was a guy slapping some asses of some of the girls that hang out there, and then paying them. And then I panned over to Colin at a bar. Colin's in a big sweatsuit and his ass sitting there. He was buying beers at the thing. So it was a memory that comes up for me all the time.
The best
So.
photo I ever saw when you guys were out there, it was Colin with a little Mr. T.
Yeah.
Oh, mini Mr. T. That was awesome.
But
That was
it's
great.
it's a really good experience, and like I guess I loathe going out there because it's just like, oh, I'm gonna get really drunk, I'm gonna fucking be tired. But being in a sports book, watching a game with everybody rooting for different, there's nothing like it, right?
It's the best. And I was telling the guys as we were leaving, I was like, we really fucked up by not staying here through the national championship. Like we were here on Sunday. Why wouldn't we just stay through Monday and stay here for the national championship? And I saw Circa posting videos from in there last night and like the swings and like,
You're going wild.
yeah, and everyone's looking at the over and the under. There's so much different action going on.
Live betting is the best too.
Yeah.
Betting in the middle of a game is great.
Well,
Next year, Wild Card Weekend is going to be fucking crazy because of the 12-team college playoff.
Oh,
They're going to. I just was listening to VSIN, where
Yeah.
and they broadcast from
Circa,
Circa.
yeah.
They were talking about there are going to be next year football games on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday that week.
All playoff
Next year.
games.
All playoff games between college and pro. It's going to be fucking nuts.
That's
Yeah,
unbelievable.
I think it's great because you can be like, I'm here to root on my Houston Texans, and somebody's like, I don't give a shit. I'm just trying to get the over, and it's like everybody has their own interests, so it's really cool.
That was the weirdest thing about. So I went to the game on Sunday,
Yeah,
and I was in the stadium, and
Ooh, what's that stadium like? Tell us about it.
maybe it's like my hate of the Raiders clouds my judgment a little bit, but it wasn't as cool as I thought. Like, I don't know. It's nice, obviously. I was comparing. It's like if your friend buys a new car, like you go in there and everything's nice, but if it's a shitty car, like there's no like really cool bells and whistles to it. It was just like concrete everywhere. I don't know. I was a little bit disappointed, but to me, the most disappointing part, which is a weird kind of phenomenon, is like I missed real Raiders fans.
Yeah.
Like I wanted to like feel a little bit unsafe in there. And I felt so safe. Like there was a Raiders fan next to me who high-fived me after a Broncos touchdown because he was like, I got the over. And I was just like, this makes me sick. Like I wish you were like
What
flashing a
percentage-
knife at me.
What percentage of Raiders fans are there in a game like that? Is it like
I
60% Raiders fans?
mean, the stadium did look like it had more Raiders colors.
I think
But-
because the seats are black.
Yeah.
I'm really sure that's part of it.
I think so too. And like, I don't know, it definitely felt like the roars for Broncos plays, as few of them as there were just as loud as the Raiders ones. And when they introduced the team at a Broncos game, it's loud. It was like nothing. It was kind of sad.
Well, I know when the Packers were there recently this season, there was green everywhere. They travel obviously really, really well, kind of like the Steelers do. But it's interesting because we had a conversation with an executive. We were out there a few years ago. It was the year the stadium opened with Reno Notaro, who was a radio host here, and he had a friend who works for the Raiders, and we were lucky enough to sit down with him. Works directly under Mark Davis, and I was like, dude, you realize this stadium is going to be half full of fans of the opposing team every time. He's like, no way, man. No way. That's not going to happen.
Wow.
Like, we've sold all these season tickets and seat licenses, and we've got a super loyal fan base, and that'll never happen. And oh my God, has it ever happened?
The Golden Knights
Yep.
have a fan base there.
Yes.
And I've been to two
The
games
Vegas
there.
Aces have a huge fan base.
And people are like, that's their team because they started there. Everyone's like into it. The Raiders, they may not get that because you got to have people coming in from California, and it's just not quite the same vibe. You think?
Totally. Yeah, I don't think there's not like a Raiders culture to Vegas. Like, I think if they were to go back and if someone could be the puppet master here, like, send the Chargers to Vegas.
Yeah.
And send the Raiders to LA. LA's already a Raiders.
Yeah,
team.
of course.
And I think you would have had a lot more success. And like the Chargers, as we know, don't really have
Nobody gives a fuck about
Yeah,
it.
so maybe like Vegas would have adopted them.
It's really, really, really sad to me. I think that the NFL will ultimately end up sending the Chargers back to San Diego. I really do. It's really, really sad what's happened to that team. And what's really happening to the Chargers is kind of exactly what's happening to the Raiders, which is the people who do come to their stadium are not there to see them.
Yep. And
Isn't
they
that
have no
sad?
identity.
Yeah, and that's a problem that the NFL has right now, specifically in the AFC West, in our division. Those two teams are, ugh.
Well,
It's like going to a Rockies game.
Well, I was going to say,
Oh, God.
so if the A's are moving there, right, for sure.
Yeah.
How do you think are the A's going to run into the same problem? Let's say the A's are playing the Astros. You can have nothing but Astros
Of
fans,
course
right?
they will. The recipe is winning. When the Rockies won, there was Rockies fans there.
Yeah.
Now they're not. It's the
Well, but
Same with the Nuggets.
Denver's not a huge. Here's the difference. Las Vegas is a huge vacation destination. So if you're a Packers fan, you've been planning all year to go watch the Packers play there. You're going there. The difference is, like when the Bruins play at Ball Arena, like they did last night, those people fucking live here.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
They're not. Those aren't people from Boston coming to see the 40th game of the season in Denver.
Probably
They've been
not.
planning all year.
Yeah.
Those are people that moved here because fucking New England sucks and they want to live in the Rocky Mountain West. And so,
They're like, I got my Ray Bork jersey. I got to put it on tonight.
and when
Get down there.
there are 100 San Francisco Giants fans, or fucking 15,000 San Francisco Giants fans at a Rockies game, those are not people that traveled here from San Francisco. They live here.
Well, this has been hot Vegas talk. Maybe we'll get into some Denver talk here in the next quarter.
Eventually.
Eventually, yeah. So we're going to take a quick break, and we will. I was just listening to this on the way in.
It's the Luna version.
The Lou version. So,
Yeah.
but hey, let's get into we've got the preeminent Broncos reporter here sitting, so we're gonna have to talk some Broncos. We try to stretch that out a little bit, but with a couple things we got to touch on before we get to that part. So let's take a quick break. We'll be right back.
I got something I got to touch on.
I bet. So
Cheers.
Have you been to a Golden Knights game out there?
No,
Um,
I was saying cheers.
I've been to two Avalanche Golden Knights. Fucking two worst games I've ever experienced. They're awful. They just got fucking smoked both times. But really fun. Like great fucking arena, you know.
I should have mentioned that because that's what when I paid more than I thought I should have for the tickets.
Yeah.
I was thinking like, well, it's Vegas. It's going to be a spectacle.
Yes.
And it wasn't at all. Like they didn't even have like fire.
Not the Al Davis
They
fire.
didn't even have fire.
They got the Al
Like-
Davis fire going, right?
Yeah, they do, but that's not even a real fire.
Yeah, it's a fake.
I thought like when they introduced the team, there's gonna be fireworks and all sorts of like cool shit or like performances and like because I've seen the videos from the Knights games, there was nothing. I mean, they had Bone Thugs and Harmony play at halftime, like whatever.
Yeah.
It was I don't know. I was really disappointed in just like the overall game experience. Like it'd be no difference in my opinion than going to like a Commanders game.
Oh yeah.
They didn't have mutton races.
No, that would have been better.
Are you coming? Are you gonna be? I mean,
Yeah.
Okay, we'll jump right back into it.
Yeah. It's like going to Nuggets games is still tough, especially looking at Celtics, Warriors,
Yeah.
Lakers here in town. It's just, oh my God. And this team just won a championship.
I know.
It's rough.
Lakers Nuggets game 1 last year was the closest I've ever been to getting in a fight in the stadium.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this guy would like if you remember, we were beating their asses, and this guy still wouldn't stop fucking running his mouth, and I was just like, dude, shut the fuck up.
They came back and almost won.
I know they did, and then of course he gets fucking more and more and more obnoxious. So then when we won, I just turned around and said, "Fuck you."
Oh, it's rough, man.
I'm sure you weren't the only one telling them fuck off.
Oh
right?
no.
But
And then like three, like
they're brazen. The Lakers fans are brazen.
Yes.
Like they got whatever 17 championships. You know.
and I was
Backing
thinking
them up, whatever their attitude is.
as I was like face to face with this guy, like yelling with him. I was thinking like, I hope no one recognizes me. And as soon as I walk into the fucking stairwell, this guy's like, DNVR for life, bro. I had your back. And I was like, all right, well, could have been worse.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's craziness. I was at a Warriors game earlier. That, when Jokic hates it when people are chanting MVP, and so it's almost like remember when Peyton Manning had the ball and everyone's like quiet. It's like Jokic when he's at the free throw line. It's like everyone quiet. So the Warriors fans were booing, and it was like Jokic is taking free throw lines, and all you hear are boos. Like,
Wow.
oh my god, it's just fucking hate it. Thank God they won.
I remember Jokic's quote about it. He was like, I don't really care, but I feel like I shoot worse when they're chanting that. So
it really does. Like, it's a thing. Like, whenever the MVP, I'm like, oh, no, we'll be quiet. Sure enough, he clinks it.
Yeah, we should do it like once a game,
But he hates
in the third quarter.
It really bothers him. Yeah, you're right. He doesn't hate it, but he misses.
Yeah, he like just distracts it.
I got a bunch of people chiming in, and Marcelo says there's a new bar in the Plaza. You said the Plaza? You've been to the Plaza at the end of Fremont Street, which is the Plaza. He says remodeled with a new carousel bar. So it might be worth visiting.
Well, they've got one of those sweet fucking mechanical
bulls.
No, horse race machines.
Oh yeah,
Sweetest one
So
ever.
so like now I'm like thinking about the Plaza. I got fucking drunk and played blackjack there a lot of times. And like this sounds really good. Then I'm like some of the places that I've stayed with Snyder, man, they're so nice though.
Yeah, he's Mr. Glitzy Glamour Vegas.
We're gonna stay at the Verada, which is on the Strip.
Dude, that place is so nice.
Fucking really nice. So I'm like, okay, I'll show up.
And that's all well and good, and I do, I can appreciate it, but I want to go. I want to go back there.
Whatever. It's nice. It's part of the city center.
I feel like I'm trying to get into like a mindset when I get to Vegas, and Fremont helps me get there.
Yeah. It does. It makes you buff. It makes sure your wallet's secure.
Yes, dude.
And make sure you're not too drunk so somebody will stab you and take your money.
Yeah. Or not stab you.
We always play at the Golden Gate, which I think is so fun.
Is that the one with the girls in the bar?
Yep.
Yes. Yeah, I've staggered through there a couple times. So.
All right, Colin, what do we got? Some questions?
Yep, questions.
You got to read that after that?
Yep. No, read before and then questions.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh. Yep.
See how resting you are?
Okay, I'm ready when you are.
Okay, so you got to read, then to the questions. And
Yep.
You're good?
Let's get us.
Yep.
Get us all up. There you go. Wait, hold on. Sure,
I'm gonna give you a thumbs up when it's time.
Okay, now.
Scott, I feel like I'm a little low in the mix. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
That's better. Yes, that sounds good. All right.
Good?
Yep.
Go.
The return of the South Stand's Denver Fancast is fueled by Cochino Taco, with locations in Old Town Arvada, Edgewater Marketplace, and on South Downing in Inglewood, featuring mouth-watering Mexico City-style street tacos, unbelievable appetizers, burritos, enchiladas, and the famous queso burger topped with American cheese, poblano chilies, fried jalapenos, and delectable melty queso. But let's not forget the best margaritas in town and happy hour from 11 to 6 every single day. Tell them the South Stand sent you and ask for your crunchy beef tacos, Shaggy style.
I'm hungry now.
Should Broncos country take solace in the fact that at least they're not the Jaguars? Should we be thankful that even though our favorite team is awful, at least our head coach is a miserable prick? Did the Broncos make history on Sunday by being the team least ever shown on NFL Red Zone? Is it obvious that Russell Wilson taught Jarrett Stidham everything he knows? What or whom does George Payton have photos of Sean Payton doing? I mean, why wouldn't the Broncos hang on to the general manager who paid Russell Wilson $250 million fucking dollars? Is Andy Reid concerned that Taylor Swift will be a little bit rusty after sitting out Week 18? And if she does have a little rust, will she be able to shake it off? Will Taylor ever make out with Katie Wingy? And if so, will there be pay-per-view? After the Nuggets game with the Pistons last week, did Nikola Jokic take more shots than he did during the game? He took 3 shots, by the way, during the game. 3. He shot the ball 3 times. What was more perfect last night? Valerie Nichushkin's shootout goal or Jared Bednar's hair? Will Brandon Spano start a new venture covering only pickleball, soccer, cornhole, and women's basketball called the All Shitty Sports Network? You have questions. We have answers. SouthStandsDenver.com, Colorado's finest internet sports talk since 1971.
Do you know this, John? Dave Hill.
Yeah.
This is Dave Hill doing the national anthem
At a hockey game.
The hockey game.
Yeah.
And it rules. It completely rules.
It was like a minor league hockey game, right?
No, it was the Toronto Maple Leafs.
No, it wasn't a pro. It wasn't a
Yes, it
NHL.
was.
Was?
Yes.
Okay.
But
Cool.
he goes right into the national anthem.
He always wears the Nordique stuff all the time.
Yes, he does.
It's good. It's shredding. I like it.
It's amazing. It's one of the greatest.
Oh, that's
things I've
O
ever heard.
Canada, yeah. So.
And he goes right to the national anthem. Here we go. Look. Here we go.
Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
It's a pretty good anthem, you know?
But
It is.
and he shreds it.
I like it.
Let's just get a couple bars into national anthem,
Okay.
and we'll move on.
Well, then he's got to stand up. He's got to stand. If you play the national anthem, he's going to fucking stand up and demand to play the whole thing.
No, I won't demand it. But I will stand up and put my hand over my heart for my country.
My country, 'tis of thee.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah, it's good. There you go. Stand up. Oh, America.
Yeah, there it is. I love this. Oh,
That's good.
that's good stuff.
Yeah, he's ripping. It's good.
Did you see what happened last week at the stadium series or whatever?
No.
So they had a guy do a guitar solo national anthem, and William Nylander was laughing through the whole thing because he just thought it was so over the top and ridiculous. But our national hockey show did a whole bit about it, where they were like, "Oh, he's not gonna be able to play for an American team because he doesn't respect the troops." And Leafs fans totally took it seriously.
Oh,
They were
really?
trying to drag them. It was incredible.
Those are the most serious people on the planet.
Yes.
I had said something. The Avs were playing the Maple Leafs last year, and whoever their goalie was at the time, he's not on the team, and they were and I was like, oh, it fucking figures the Avs are letting this crappy goalie fucking let him have the game of his life. And so Leafs fan was like, oh, crappy goalie, huh? Just throwing all these statistics. Guy just found me. Found me. I didn't know him. Never talked to him before. And I was like, I didn't even respond. I'm like, you just live your life, man. Just live your life.
I think there's some the Leafs fans might be the Chiefs fans of the NHL.
I think you're right. And I had that down. We were talking about Lakers fans. Lakers fans have all those, and granted, they were winning titles when there was only 3 good teams, right? So it's like the Yankees.
3 teams total.
Yeah, it's like the Yankees fans going, well, we've got 87 titles. It's like, yes, but you didn't have black guys, and you were winning these in the fucking 1800s. So how does this count, right? So it's just like
Steelers fans.
Steelers
fans.
And I think if you won a Super Bowl before 1980, it should count for half, right?
Yes.
Maybe half. And I just don't think it's the same league. It's obviously not the same league.
And you have to have at least been alive to talk shit about it.
Yeah, totally.
Totally agree.
That's a good rule of thumb.
In the bubble, that's only worth a half, right?
Yeah,
For
at
Lakers?
most.
In-season tournament, a quarter.
God, they raised it.
-1.
They
Yeah,
raised
negative.
a fucking banner to the rafters. How embarrassing! A team with all of those real titles, and they raised an in-season tournament banner.
That shows you how fucking down they are. That they actually raised that. You'd think they would say, "Look, we really appreciate this. It was fun, but we're not raising that fucking."
Do you think, okay, if the Nuggets, after having just raised their real fucking banner at the first game of the season, if they had won the in-season tournament, would they have raised a banner? And they've only got one.
I think the NBA made them.
Oh, you think so?
I hate to I'd much rather just say like the Lakers are idiots, but I think the NBA, I think the NBA said like
I
you
agree.
have to fucking raise this
I agree
banner
with you. Like, this is a precedent that's no sense.
because they're trying to make it a thing.
Sure, and they're trying to sell advertising around it. It makes sense. But back to the Chiefs fans. By the way, when Spano was here, I guess Spano has thought there was a lot of distance has been between him and being a Chiefs fan, because on this show I said, "Hey, Brandon, you're a fucking noted Chiefs fan," and he kind of went.
He was like, dude.
He looked at me like,
bro.
"Hey, man,"
Jeez.
and I was like, "Come on, everybody knows that, right?" I guess a lot of people don't know that.
Well,
So-
they do now.
Yeah, they do now. So
I'm contractually obligated. To not
I
speak on this
understand.
subject.
I don't want to get you in trouble, but we
I
can.
played the fifth.
But I want to talk about Chiefs fans, because Lakers fans, obnoxious assholes, but at least they have this long history. Chiefs fans won a Super Bowl, winning the Super Bowl then, and fucking Lyndon Johnson was president, okay? And then they won 2 of them, not back to back, mind you, like the Broncos have.
Mhm.
And all of those fans are the most obnoxious, entitled people on the fucking
They
planet.
are, but they aren't. Now, okay,
No, they are. Ryan,
They
am
are.
I right? Yeah.
They're fucking terrible.
Ah,
I went there. Okay, they hadn't won the Super Bowl yet. But when I went to a game at Arrowhead, and they were so fucking cool. They were such a great fan base. They were super, super nice.
That's because you're white.
super welcoming. Okay, well, there's that.
I gotta say, it's actually like the old "don't meet your heroes" thing when
Yeah.
you go to see a game in a place in the Midwest. Like, I fucking hate Nebraska. When you go to a game, in
Oh,
Nebraska,
that's
they're
awesome.
So nice.
It's so fucking cool.
I actually hated it. I was like, "Fuck you guys!" They're like, "Can we buy you a beer? Welcome to town." I'm like, "This isn't like the monster I've built in my head."
No, and Chiefs fans were shoving food at me. They're just like, welcome. Thanks for making the trip.
Online Chiefs fans, though, same thing.
Oh, it's a whole
I'll leave them out of
my
this. Online Chiefs fans. So, quick story: our social media manager in Phoenix responded to it. Like, I guess Patrick Mahomes tweeted something. He took a dig at one of the Phoenix teams. I think it was the Coyotes, and she responded to him and said, like, "Shouldn't you be more worried about what your brother's getting into?" And dude, we had like dozens upon dozens of emails and phone calls and things trying to get her fired for making that comment from Chiefs fans. And like, it was unbelievable. She had death threats, like just for like a harmless joke.
Which he earned. He
Yes.
earned that, right? He asked for it. Yeah, no, that's not unbelievable. I think that's what they are. They're super weird and entitled. They had a little bit of success, and especially now that the wheels are kind of coming off. Now, granted, Patrick Mahomes is great.
That remains to be seen.
Yeah, he's fantastic. He'll be a Hall of Famer. I hope that they don't get it together, and I hope they lose a lot of players and they suck, of course. But it's so weird that they get a little success and then just a bump in the road, man. And they're just like, and all sports fans are like that. Don't get me wrong. I know a lot of Denver sports fans are like that, but those guys are really bad. They're like top notch as far as whiny fan bases. Yes, Colin. And they're throwing food at you. Come on. You used to weigh a lot more, too. They probably saw it and you're like, this guy will eat all my extra sausages.
Yeah, we'll make it. We're just going to make this guy fatter.
Yes, yeah. We'll just make him fatter and then he won't
Make
be able
him
to.
one of us.
Yeah, make him one of us. Yeah, we'll throw some red on you. So
Well, speaking of fandom, I'm starting to feel a little weird and awkward because I've been a Broncos fan my entire life, but I feel stupid now putting my shit on. Like when I put my shit on, I go to the fucking grocery store, I feel awkward. Like it sucks, man. They haven't been any fucking good since 2016. I mean, I love wearing my Nuggets shit around town, but when I put my Broncos gear on, I feel like an idiot.
do you find that you get a lot of people probably, Ryan, who are like, still super into it, and if you're not into the team, you're not a real fan, that type of thing.
Mhm.
But are you noticing though a lot of people are kind of like, yeah, I want to distance myself from this until it corrects?
There's a little bit of that.
Yeah.
How do they draw at DNVR
Not nearly as good. Not nearly as good.
as Avalanche?
Avs and Nuggets are easily, the top two. And then honestly, the Buffs this year drew a lot, especially early in the season, obviously. But the Broncos are a distant third behind those teams when it comes to the
That's fucking nuts.
I know. And there's definitely, I think, a bit of that where people are like, I need to pull back a little bit on my Broncos fandom because they're not bringing me joy. But all it takes is like one little crumb of hope before they all.
I was
Chiefs game.
I was there for the Chiefs game,
Yes.
and you were sitting on the table right behind me,
Yep.
and it was just you could feel the whole fan base, their heart, their spirits lifting. Like I left there that day thinking, oh, wow, a wild card is not out of the question now.
Yeah. And so once you get that, like no one ever really gives up. You got people on Twitter who are like, I'm fucking done with this team. Blah, blah, blah. Like you're really not.
Yeah, sure.
Once you're in for life. So you do see it, but I do think it affects things like the bars and things like that because people are like, I'm not going to plan my whole day around this thing that's probably just going to piss me off. Like I'll just watch from my couch.
One of the net results of what has happened over the last 7-8 years is I've become such a bigger fan of the league itself. Like the stories, all of the teams, what's going on with Jalen Hurts' finger right now. Like I used to just watch Broncos games. That's all that mattered. And really since Peyton Manning, that's just kind of faded away. And I've looked for things that interest me across the league.
But how much of that is fantasy, though? I mean, fantasy football's done a lot to keep people
and gambling.
I think gambling's even more though.
Yeah.
I mean, even the Raiders fan that high-fived you because hit the over. I mean,
it's a mix of all that, and I also think red zone.
Yeah,
like red zone has an effect on that.
Red zone was awesome,
dude. Like
red zone was awesome this week. The balance with the 7 games in the morning and 8 games in the afternoon instead of the 11 games in the morning and 3 games in the afternoon. It was so great. Chris Hansen works his ass off.
He's amazing. And I like the NBA. I like the NHL. I like all of these sports, but it's impossible to follow it. And I'm not watching like Kings Lakers on TNT. It's just like I won't do it. Like maybe if I see some tweets, oh, this game's crazy, it's late,
sure,
I'll turn it on. But like the NFL, it's so easy to just know what's going on. It's easy to know the players and the storylines going on with the teams because there's so few games. And so I understand what you're talking about, and I honestly have felt that more too, which is just like the league itself is fucking awesome.
It is.
Like, it's good.
The greatest soap opera there is.
It really is, and I think because of it's compared to those other sports, it's a condensed season. You don't have as many games. You don't have as many players to kind of follow. Basketball doesn't have that many either, but you know what I mean. It's just little. It's more compartmentalized. You can kind of follow it better, I think. And you were talking about red zone. I like this year was the first year I actually had started to watch Bronco games, and I was watching them beat the Chiefs, of course. But like before, I was only watching red zone because I was like, the Broncos are awful. They're not even going to be on red zone, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And I just tuned out the Broncos, and I just would only watch red zone. So I was more interested in the rest of the NFL than I was the Broncos. Yeah.
Here's what I think is going to happen, and I don't take credit for this take because I heard it. I heard Colin Cowherd talking about it this week. But with the 12-team playoff, college football is going to become the second most popular sport in America behind the NFL.
I love college football.
And I don't, and I'm jealous.
Yeah.
I honestly, I found myself getting jealous this year. I was just like, God, I wish I cared about this.
Listen, I want to talk about college football, but we're gonna get into the second half now. So I definitely had that down because I want to talk to him a little bit about that. And I'm gonna try to talk him down from his college football. No, I'm just kidding. I know I could never do that. So, but let's get into the second half right now, and we'll get it all covered. I got a full sheet here, and I just gotta,
Is the computer falling down yet?
The computer's going. So
wow.
So Ryan, if you're gonna say something horrible,
now's the time.
Yeah. Well, no, now's not the time because this might actually post. So, so let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Colin Cowherd is so good, and when a week of NFL games is over, I just can't get to YouTube fast enough to watch him and whoever he's on with break it down.
Obviously, people, everyone has their issue because they'll have a take that they didn't like and stuff, but you can never say that like his take was lazy.
He's such a pro.
He really if he's gonna have a take, he makes sure that it's well thought out, and even if you don't like it, obviously there's some stuff like the backwards hat shit that like he's just trolling. But when he had it's funny because I remember this one so specifically. Like he had to take that Drew Lock was going to win MVP, which in the end looks so dumb. But he went through and he had all these things, and he gave all these examples of players in their second year and how they popped, and Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes, and it's just you leave it being like, well, that makes sense.
At least he made a point.
Yeah,
he's not afraid to be wrong.
While this is going and we're in the middle of break, Mike Peterson has requested that we talk about his Legal Weed Melvin Memorial Cup Championship. And I said I wouldn't mention it unless he came out to Vegas with us. And he said, "Yeah, I'll see you there." And I said, "No, let me see your plane ticket first." And I haven't heard back from him. So, but anyway, Mike, congratulations on your Legal Weed Melvin Championship. You won the fucking Stoner Cup, I guess. So good job.
I did not win a single fucking title this year.
You didn't?
No. I had 4 Yahoo leagues. I took second in one of the guillotines. Guillotine leagues are great. Have you played one?
They're really fun.
Next year, fucking do one.
Very frustrating.
It's the most entertaining form of fantasy.
What is it?
So Paul Charchian started guillotine leagues, and so you can start at week 1.
18 teams.
With 18 teams, and every week the lowest scoring team is cut, and their players go to the free agent pool.
Oh, shit.
So if you had Patrick Mahomes and you lost, everybody can bid on him, but you've got a $1,000 budget. So in those first few weeks, you want to be real careful because you need money to spend later. And you don't have to have the best score. You just don't want to have the worst score. And whoever can just stay in that middle until the end and have the most money is probably going to have the best chance to win. There's a lot of game theory.
It's really
a lot of game theory, a lot of strategy involved.
That's fun.
It's pretty exciting.
So I'm only in one dynasty league.
I have never played a dynasty league. I'd love to.
Honestly, I was the worst team in the league for the first 3 years. And it just worked like a real franchise. I got so many high picks.
To know college football.
Yes, for sure. And so then I got Bijan Robinson and Trevor Lawrence and Breece Hall. And now my team, I got 3rd place this year. So I went from last to 3rd. I was like, this is fun.
Breece had a good year.
Yep.
Yeah, I've had people tell me that, you should try it. I'm like, I don't know.
It's a commitment.
It is a commitment. I mean, I already got enough going on, but I did win one. I won that old school league where nobody pays attention, which is great. I won that one.
Oh, you won
the Denver
City
Football Club. I won that. That's
you did?
My sixth
Holy
time.
Shit,
Yes. So I just surpassed.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, it's Captain's Fantasy.
We were tied. We were tied with 5 each, I think.
Really?
Yep. So
Congrats, man.
thank you.
I'm finally picking up some wins in hockey.
Know, and I feel bad I didn't even know.
Wow.
I think next year's going to be my year. I'm making my triumphant comeback.
Wow, good. All right. Yes, me too.
Well, I guess I've been down for a few years.
You look exhausted. I mean, you've just been working so hard making money.
Yeah, well, there's things. I think next year's a year where I actually pay attention.
All right, that's good. It's good to know. I'll watch out for you next year.
Yeah.
I love that Marcelo's just tweeting all the way through this.
He's live tweeting this.
Yeah, he said that the horse thing is at the D casino.
Well, no, they got 2. The Plaza has one too.
The Plaza had one.
The D's got the sweetest one. It's fucking dope.
There's one. Some guy was telling me this weekend. It's the only one in the state of Nevada.
Somebody owns they're privately owned. A lot of them.
Yeah,
they're cool as hell.
So I didn't know Peterson won one, and who won all the leagues?
Jen won the South Stands one.
Okay.
The Platinum League.
Yeah.
And that's her third. That's her third in that.
I was up against her.
You were,
and all I needed was Mahomes to throw one.
Well, you went with a bunch of Chiefs, and that's was your downfall. So
the very next week, it was great. But yeah,
Well, let's do a review and get back into sports.
Okay.
Well, who won the platinum or
tier 1 league? God damn. I right off the top of my head, I can't remember.
it wasn't you.
Unfortunately,
Also,
I was one out of the money.
don't let me distract us from talking Broncos.
Oh no, we will. We'll get to that. We'll try to dedicate the last quarter to that for sure. So I can't.
And I want to do
Yeah.
wild card predictions too, because I handicapped every one of those games.
We're doing
I
sports.
spent 90 minutes.
Yeah, it's all right, guys. I didn't reply to any of that stuff.
I got nowhere to be, so.
I had stuff.
All right, so read and then into sports. And Scott, I do have headlines, but we don't have to do it. But if it fits, I've got it.
Me as well. But then we'll do it in between the third and fourth.
Okay.
All right.
Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
Is he ready?
Is Scott
I'm ready. I'm ready.
All right. Sportique is where scooters come from and has been for over 25 years. And now Sportique is the place for e-bikes from Scootstar, Genuine Scooter Company, and the Jackrabbit, the 20-mile-an-hour, 20-pound mini machine that fits comfortably in the trunk of your car. So turn to Sportique for all of your scooter needs, parts, service, accessories, apparel, and now e-bikes. Visit SportiqueScooters.com or their expansive showroom at 160 South Broadway in the shadow of downtown. Sportique, where scooters come from. Sports!
Oh, wow! Woo!
Let's fucking go!
Ow!
Yeah, baby!
Come on out!
Woo!
Come on out!
1, 2, 3, 4, sports!
Woo!
Sports! 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 Sports!
Sports! Sports!
Yeah, baby! Woo!
Sports!
Denver sports, man.
The thing about sports is, we talked briefly about college football. You love your CU Buffs. You're stoked to be covering them, to be there in all the action. And part of the DNVR thing, I think, and maybe a criticism of it is that, oh, they're just fans and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, if the Buffs were like to win a national championship
Again.
Thank
you.
Well, hold on.
Don't do
hold
this.
on. Listen, I come from a long line of Notre Dame fans, and I think they won it on some bullshit happened in the game, right? It was like a block in the back. I don't know.
The fifth down.
No, that was a different team. Anyway, you want to cover the team, but you also want to celebrate the team. And if the Buffs or the Nuggets or the Avalanche, the Broncos win a title, it's like, well, who am I going to celebrate with? Mark Kisla?
Yes.
Does Mark Kisla give a shit about how I'm feeling? But I know this guy gives a shit. This guy cares how I feel about it. So I can celebrate with you, and you can celebrate with me. And you are covering the team. You're giving me information, but yet we can all celebrate together. And I think
that's what's so fucking cool about the DNVR bar. It's fucking rad. I told Brandon it's the next best thing to being at the game.
Yes.
And you're celebrating and partying and high-fiving the people that cover the teams for DNVR. It's so fucking exciting.
But how do you counter that criticism when someone's like, well, you're just a fanboy, blah, blah, blah.
I don't.
You don't care.
I am.
Yeah.
Like,
It's like, who cares?
like, I love these teams. And, like, if the Buffs won the national championship, I would cry. So I'm not going to sit here.
I cried my fucking eyes out when the Nuggets
Yes,
won.
me too.
And I hugged and I held and I embraced it. It was so fucking magic.
No, like, I think that authenticity is the best thing in media. And I think that if I were to sit here and pretend like like the Broncos are just having a tough season and I don't really care, like, that doesn't do anything for me. And when we actually, it wasn't planned, but when we went from BSN to DNVR, there was something about like brandishing the letters of the city that really like empowered us to just be real.
Sure.
We love these teams. We care about them. We love this city. We want everyone to win, and it makes it more fun for us. It makes it more fun for you. And so that was like such a transformational thing for me in media to be like, wait, I'm not doing media to like look cool to the other media members. I'm creating content for fans who want to feel this and go along with this ride. and like you said, have someone to celebrate with after the game. Like you go to the post game show not to like hear about the game you just watched, to like celebrate what just happened. So I like people, especially with the Buffs right now, there's so much national attention. I've always got people tweeting, "You're a homer, you're a homer." I'm like,
yeah, okay.
You're fucking
goddamn right I am.
Yeah,
and
like,
proud of it.
And I feel such a weight off my shoulders now that we can just like not give a fuck if someone says that, because it's like we found a way to be successful and create great content while also not hiding the fact that we love the team.
One thing that's interesting, sorry to interrupt,
Sorry.
with regard to Sean Payton in particular, is locally the media, not real sure about the guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of salty and kind of prickly and not really kind to the local media. And so when you listen to local sports talk and whatever, the impressions people have of him, not that great. Then you listen to the national media. The national media fucking loves this guy and just assumes he's going to turn the Broncos around. Even at this point, I mentioned Colin Cowherd earlier. They're friends.
Yep.
They work together at Fox, and so they're buddies. He's buddies with Michael Lombardi. He's buddies with all these guys, and so it's really interesting, that dichotomy. Like, look, they're homers for Peyton, and we're not,
because he's nice to them.
and he's mean to everybody here.
He's mean to everybody here. I don't want somebody to sugarcoat it, but all the old school guys who are like, I can't root for the team, are like, they'd be so negative, and you're like, man, this guy's so negative. It's like, have a little bit of joy in what you're doing. I'm trying to enjoy this, and if you're saying, oh, this is what's going wrong, I'll listen to that. Fine, I want to hear that. I want to know that, but I need a little bit of positive too. And when you get somebody, and like the Denver Post still does this, they get somebody, I think there's a guy, and no offense to him, I don't know who it is, but like, I think he came from he was covering the Sharks. I think he covers the Avs now. And that's fine. I'm sure the guy does a great job and everything, but it's kind of like, well, this guy doesn't give a shit about the Avs. And I'm like, yeah, he can give you like a breakdown of what's going on, but I want somebody who's actually going to high five me when they win.
Yeah, and then there's room for all of it.
And then there's a guy like James Maryland, who I really respect, and I like him, and that makes me weird. But he's from here. He's used to work for the Broncos. He's been a fan of the teams all his life, and he just can't help but say horrible things all the time and never be excited about anything. And a lot of times he makes a lot of really good points, and people don't want to hear it because they're homers. But he's like the anti-homer. Like, he's so nervous about being considered a homer that he's an anti-homer.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. There's certain people out there who it feels like you're trying to make me feel bad about this thing that I love.
Yeah.
And like, I just personally, I have to avoid that. Like, I'm trying to make this a positive experience for myself. Sports are my everything. Like, if sports are making me miserable, then I'm just going to be miserable. So like, I think you're right that, a lot of times the people that we perceive as negative or whatever are making good points. But if you're only ever going to that well, it's like, I have to avoid you because you're just trying to make my fun less fun.
Yeah, I've never seen James Maryland go, wow, what a play by Russell. How encouraging.
But you're right, though. There are people who, and this is more old school guys, they are so concerned with somebody calling him a homer. The stuff with Mosier recently, when some dickhead, some fucking loser that just has like 300 followers on Twitter said like, oh, he's such a homer, he sucks, blah, blah, he's terrible.
Yes, he
one of
is.
the worst. He's one of the worst. Like, guy's one of the best. I've listened to a lot of NHL radio. He's one of the fucking best, the best play-by-play guys in the NHL. He's fantastic, right?
Guts all over the place. Guts all over the place.
He works for the Avalanche. Now, okay, let's put it this way. If you put fucking like Adrian Dater on there, I like Adrian Dater, don't get me wrong. But he was always very harsh on the Avalanche. You put him on there, man, it's not going to be fun. Mosier's he's a blast. He's awesome. And I want a guy to get excited. And I want a guy who, when they totally blow a fucking lead and lose a game in horrible fashion, to be like, oh, God. That's how I felt. I felt the same way. And that's what I like about that. It's fine if I'm going to watch a national game and somebody who doesn't care about it, you're going to get that. But if I can get somebody who gives a shit like I do, I'll prefer that. Now, those guys, maybe they don't criticize. They're not there to criticize, right? And they're like a less extreme version of the Rockies announcers, okay? And I was going to say that too. Sorry, I'm bouncing all over the place. You're talking about not liking a team. The Rockies, I've completely said no to the Rockies.
You bailed about 2
I bailed
years
on the
ago.
Rockies totally. And it's almost like I feel like, well, maybe I should at least like kind of get into them, because even if the team's bad, you should still kind of pay attention.
And
to
you
them, right?
love baseball. I love baseball.
Baseball's all right.
And
Sorry,
they're
I
my
just-
local team.
It goes back to this you were talking about earlier when the Broncos beat the Chiefs. How much hope did everyone have at that point in time? So much hope.
It's awesome.
We're
That
so
was
so
close.
fun.
That was the most uplifting game since 2017.
Denver glows like a different way when the Broncos have hope.
And let's go back to the Rockies. There is no hope.
There is no hope.
Zero hope.
And we've brought
that's
this
the
up with
problem.
everybody that's come
No
on,
hope.
and
Right.
people try to like, put a little bit of a shine on it, I guess, on that turd, but there's no shine. in
Was
that.
Rocktober the last time there was any hope whatsoever?
No, what,
They made the
6
playoffs a
years
couple
ago,
times. Yeah.
they
Yeah,
had a great team at that point in time.
I think the last full season of Nolan was probably the last that anybody
They
had.
won
hope.
that one game against the Cubs.
But I guess my point is, it's like I don't want to be a hypocrite because I've totally signed off. I've said nope, I don't even want anything to do with them. Whereas the other ones, I'm like, hey, the Broncos fucking piss me off. They suck. But at least I'm kind of like, well, I'm
You
curious.
know they can come back.
I'm curious to see where it goes.
You know they're going to do something.
Whereas
They're trying
I'm
to
not
do
with the Rockies.
no hope.
And there's history there. I think that's what it comes back to. Is like
A lot more
the
history.
Broncos are a proud franchise.
Yeah.
The Rockies are a joke franchise, and it's a bummer because I too really enjoy like finishing work on a July day and going home and popping on the couch and being like, time to watch the Rockies.
Yep.
And I'm with you. Like I haven't like publicly sworn off the team, but I just don't feel it. Like I don't get home and be like, oh, what time's the Rockies game or who's on the mound? Like I just don't pay attention. And once in a while you see something and you're like, oh, I'll turn on the game. But it's really sad, honestly.
If they were, and we've talked about this too, if they were going, and I don't know what the future holds for their broadcast, if they were on like a just an over the air channel, like whatever, like you can get with the antenna, I would probably watch them just because I just something to do, something to watch, and just to tune in. But if I have to go out of my way to watch it, if I have to get my laptop open and stream them, no way, it's not going to happen. There's just no way. So that they're placing obstacles in front of me, and I don't know how this turned into a Rockies discussion. It's really a shame that it's.
But here's a quick little pivot. Colin, you keep up with this. Rockies altitude is something happening. That's not something hit earlier.
The concern there is that it makes perfect sense because they'd have year-round programming. The concern there is that the Rockies object to the fact that altitude isn't involved with Comcast. So that whole, and we talked to Vic Lombardi about this. Vic said on that last show, it would be a done deal. If altitude were on Comcast, it would be a done deal. They would have the Rockies. And that's the only thing that makes any sense because then altitude would have year-round sports coverage and it would be a complete RSN. But because they're not involved with Comcast, that's not likely to happen. It's more likely they end up on Channel 4, Channel 7, or Channel 9.
Isn't there?
In the meantime, we've got no Kavnar, and that's not acceptable.
I know you like your cap.
I love my Kavnar.
Henry, who covers the Broncos for us, Henry Chisholm, was telling me that there's a some sort of like law that would almost essentially force Comcast to carry it if they had the Rockies on there. I don't know. There's like some sort of loophole that would essentially make it so they had to carry it.
Vic didn't mention that,
He
but
did not mention that.
it's very complicated. It's a fucking mess. Here's something exciting. Apparently, the Broncos are down. There are 5 teams left that might be on Hard Knocks.
Yep.
Do we really want that?
Yes, we want that.
Do we really want that? This is for the Jets and the Browns, not the Broncos.
Yeah, well, we're kind of in that tier right now.
Yes, I guess you're right.
I will say Sean Payton had a line, I guess, in a press conference the other day where he said, like, the only reason I'd want to be on Hard Knocks is so people would realize I'm not as much of a dick they think I am. I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah.
So, but I was like, oh, does that mean he wants to be on Hard Knocks? I'll say this, and this would be my main reason why you don't want it. Peyton Manning would never fucking allow that. Like, he would do anything and everything he had to do to sabotage that from going to Denver because he believes that is a disadvantage. That being said, it would be kind of fun to see the Broncos on Hard Knocks.
I've never watched a minute of Hard Knocks.
Oh, it's one of my favorite shows of all time.
I've never watched it.
It's so well done. HBO's behind the scenes people are so fucking good.
Good.
Their video production is so good. The script writing is so good.
Has any team that's been on Hard Knocks gone on to win a Super Bowl?
Probably
No.
not.
No.
Because you can only be on it if you didn't make the playoffs last year and you don't have a new coach.
Oh, is that a rule, or are you just
Yeah,
saying?
No, it's a
those
rule.
are the
Oh,
rules.
okay. Oh.
Yeah. So of all the
Makes
NFL
the Hard
teams,
Knocks, I guess, right?
once you fire your head coach, you can't be on Hard Knocks.
Yeah, interesting. I guess I learned something new here. Real quick, we're gonna get into the fourth. Then we got to definitely talk Broncos. Deion Sanders seems like he's taking the Colorado by storm. Is he going to be around here for a while? Do you believe this? Do you think he likes Boulder? Do you think he wants to stay?
I actually really do think he loves being in Colorado.
Yeah.
And he's the type of person. This was actually
You've been around him, right? Like
Yes.
you've interviewed him.
I've spent some good time around him, and one of his kind of right hand men, if you'll call him, his name's Uncle Neely. He comes on our show, like we partner with him, so I've gotten a pretty good idea of who Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, is. And there's a line at the last. Have you seen the series on Prime Video?
No.
So you should watch it. I'm in it.
I would. Okay.
No,
That's why I'm asking about this, because I would avoid anything college football CU related. Sorry,
you
just
should watch it, but I know you won't.
if you're in it, I will watch it.
Okay, all right.
Okay, I'll watch it.
I'm in it quite a bit. There's a line. It's like the last line of the whole thing, and Coach Prime's talking to one of his assistant coaches, and he says he was talking to the commissioner of the Big 12, and the commissioner of the Big 12 was answering the same question that I'm answering from you right now, which is like they asked him, why would you be excited about Colorado coming to the Big 12 when Prime's just going to leave in a couple of years? And the commissioner of the Big 12 said, I'm not worried about that because Coach Prime is not interested in inheriting legacies. He's interested in creating legacies. And I think that's truly like what he is, how he's wired. Like, of course he could go to Alabama or Ohio State or one of those places and dominate because everyone wants to play for him, especially if he's there. But I think there's something about the way he's wired, which is like, no, I got to do this on my own and do it my way and kind of create something. So yes, I do think he's going to be here for a while, but I also acknowledge that there's a possibility that both of his sons go to the NFL after this year, and he's just like, yeah, I think it's time for me to just go back to to Texas and fish. I
think that whole thing about creating a legacy, we've seen that. Like, we were like, why wouldn't Carmelo Anthony stay here and become a legend? Why wouldn't he stay here? Why there's other examples too. And you think like, hey, in other cities, other sports, you could be here and you could be a legend. You'll be remembered forever. They'll put you up on a fucking wall. They love you. And people just don't do that. They're like, I'm just going to go somewhere else and
make more money.
Yeah, make more money and then have a mediocre career when they could be a fucking legend. And that's the whole thing. Why not do something special where if he in whatever
Big fish in a small pond.
2 years he won a title. People are gonna fucking carve him on the rock up in Boulder, right? They're gonna cover his face in there.
Absolutely. I mean, there'll be a statue of him outside of the stadium. Like, you don't get that if you go to the place that's already there.
Yeah, exactly.
Knowing we have to go to break.
Yeah.
Because you said carve his face on a rock, I want to ask you guys this. I put a tweet up the other day, and I also posted it to Facebook. The Mount Rushmore of Denver sports.
Oh.
John Elway.
Yes.
Joe Sakic.
Yes.
Todd Helton, and Nikola Jokic.
Assuming
Assuming you have to represent all four sports.
Okay, if you have to represent all four sports, then that would be it. Although Larry Walker, the only Hall of Famer from the Rockies, but
true.
So I think the stronger take is even if you don't have to represent all four sports, Jokic is still on there, and I actually have him.
And isn't that amazing?
Yes,
in such a short period of time,
and I have him third. So I would go Elway, Sakic, Jokic, and then you can kind of debate Terrell Davis, Patrick Waugh. The Rockies aren't making it on. If
where is Peyton Manning on that list?
A couple back.
Does he make
He's
it?
on the one down the way. He's on the auxiliary one.
I mean, he stayed here, but he was felt like a rental.
He was a Colt.
It was
he
cool.
was a
Yeah.
rental.
He's higher than Ray Bork. Let's put it
Yeah,
that
for
way.
sure.
And Rob Blake.
It's just not enough longevity to be on the Rushmore.
It's always a fascinating debate. I think it's always good.
How are those?
Can always change.
These are great.
Yeah,
These are-
I've been thinking about checking those out.
These are amazing.
Let's take a break. We're gonna get the fourth quarter. I promise we're gonna do some Broncos. We got the
I feel like we've been talking about the Broncos.
but we've been kind of like dipping our toes in the water. Now we're gonna dive in because I've got a lot of hard hitting questions for our preeminent Broncos reporter. So we're gonna take a quick break. We'll be right back. See, this is when the bottom of the 40 hits, and I haven't eaten anything, and then I start getting a little buzz and getting a little off track.
I go straight from here to Illegal Pete's and eat.
Is there one right here?
Oh yeah, you haven't been to the Broadway one, you guys. I thought you guys did a remote there.
Yeah.
It's like right here, right? It's like,
Yeah, it's
I
walking half the way.
live on Colfax, or one street off Colfax. The bar's on Colfax, and there's an IP's right there. So it's like,
you live close to the bar, right? I think you told me that.
yeah. So I live.
Well, hey, don't tell me where you live. You don't want to show, you don't want Marcelo showing up. Fair enough.
Illegal Pete's.
I live in
one-
Uptown.
Illegal Pete's is one of my favorite companies. Period.
Dude, they're great.
I'm so fond of them, and I've met Pete. He's a great guy.
Yeah, he's a huge Nuggets fan. I'm gonna hit the bathroom real quick.
Oh,
Well, what do you know, John?
what's up?
I'll hit the bar when you.
The last one was for you. It's called 666.
Oh, is that cool?
That's you, isn't it?
I like it. What's making that sound? Is that the board?
No.
It's not. Oh, it's this fucking computer.
Oh my god.
God damn. We get through
You
this.
didn't say it along the way?
It's gonna be a miracle.
You better say it.
But then my computer at home's not working, so I don't know.
I do remember when you guys had them and it was all went badly.
Yeah, the sound was all fucked up. Something was wrong. I think something was
So,
on the
so
board.
was there anyone here?
With him?
Yeah, like run the board.
Oh, you mean here? Fuck, I have no idea. It might have just been Colin running it.
It went badly.
Because I don't think Jeff was jumping in there yet.
Was that the studio though?
No, I was here.
This one?
Yeah. Oh, lots of people. Snyder's chiming in.
Oh boy.
Snyder never watched Hard Knocks either. God bless you, Snyder. It doesn't hold any interest to me.
Never seen it. I would watch it. The Broncos were on it though. So I guess maybe I do want them to be on it.
The whole 90 minutes handicapping the wild card. Oh yeah, we didn't get to the wild card yet. We got to do. We're gonna the very end. You cannot leave here without
Make some bets.
yeah. So wild card, bitches. That's my note says.
Wild card.
Yeah. So
Sorry, I think I'm looking for the very first time with these jerseys that Colin has. Bubby Brister, Nene, Earl Boykins.
that's my nene.
Oh my god, were those all the Goodwill finds?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know if that was my Brister or not. I don't think so. I know the nene one's mine.
That's amazing. Who are the signatures? So there's Tom Nalen. That's
Tom Nalen signed one.
yeah, he probably came here and did that one.
I almost just talked shit. Forgot that we were live. Not about Tom Naylor.
Tom Nalen would fucking scoop us all up in his arms and fucking throw us down the stairs.
Not anymore.
He was certainly. I mean, he's still big. I mean, he's probably
skinny, dude. He's skinny.
he's a big guy, but yeah, he's thin now. But
He was so good at radio.
yeah, he was really good, wasn't he?
Yeah, I don't think his heart was in it.
Yeah, I don't think he cared.
Yep.
Yeah, he came. He probably did this twice. I thought. Didn't we have him in here twice?
Yeah. He was great, for sure.
He was like into the other teams and shit. He loved
He
hockey.
was big into hockey. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think he wanted to put the actual commitments into it. I mean,
But most of those former athletes who do it don't.
yeah,
I
sympathize with them. Like,
This is my pride and joy. I found at the thrift store. It's a windshield cover, and it's totally intact.
That's awesome.
Yeah, isn't it cool? I saw it. It was like folded up in a thrift store. I was like, I got it.
how often are you in the thrift store, John?
I go. I go a couple times a week because if I'm going back out to Aurora, where my office is, there's a couple on the way, and I just pull in and I just see what's there, and I find cool shit.
Yeah, for sure. I'm never in one. That's all.
I
used to
got.
go quite a bit. I don't.
I collect those. Have you seen those round smoked highball glasses, NFL with the old NFL logos? I collect those, and we found some at an estate sale. And I got a ton of them, and I started selling some of them. So I had like Packers. I got a ton of Raiders ones.
I would sell all the Packers and all the Raiders.
I sold the Raiders, but I got another set too. But guy that works for me is into the Raiders, so I'm gonna give him one, and because I don't want it in my house. But they're fucking cool as hell, man.
No, thank you, but that's common.
What's that like? Nicotine?
It's only nicotine, yeah.
And is it like Swedish or something?
No, so those ones are still tobacco.
Oh, okay.
This is just like
Just beads of nicotine.
yeah, just nicotine bead. I think they call it nicotine salt technically, but
I gotta figure out. Hold on.
it's
So
kind of
did you recently quit smoking?
no. So we have a guy who we work with. His name's Spencer. He's our events coordinator. He also does our golf podcast. It's fucking riot. If you ever feel like listening to a golf podcast, that shit's pretty funny. But I just play golf with him, and I started doing them.
Now you're hooked.
So you use
hooked.
and you're not a smoker.
No.
Interesting.
I chewed when I was in high school.
See, I had a friend who was smoking cigarettes all the time, and then he went to dipping, and then he got the Swedish ones, and he's like these are so clean, and they're like nothing in it. I don't know what I think he vapes now, so he just can't.
I've got a friend who quit smoking 20 years ago, and he still uses nicotine replacements, lozenges. He's still a nicotine addict, but he doesn't
So,
smoke.
do you have a read coming up?
We're doing headlines.
Here's the deal. So when John puts this all together, there'll be music kind of rolling down. So you start the headlines to your headlines, and about 5 seconds into it, I'll roll up the music into it, and then we'll go into a break after that. And the last time we did it, you were a little off.
Okay, so
You just start it. So
Okay.
you start it dry because the music's coming down, like from what we just did.
okay.
So you do it dry, and then I'll roll.
Oh, he's gonna do it dry, right?
I have been for years. Okay.
And then you should be good at this. Let's do it dry. You do it dry, and then we'll roll it in.
All right. Just let me know when I need to push record.
Okay, hit record. With so much going on in the world of football, it's hard to keep track of current events, and that's why we present headlines to yard lines. The CEO of an Indian AI startup has been arrested on suspicion that she murdered her 4-year-old son after his body was found in her luggage on Tuesday. And one can make a case for Tampa Bay to be the most likely team to pack an upset on Wild Card Weekend. The Ecuadorian president declared a 60-day state of emergency after the country's most wanted prisoner disappeared from the jail where he was being held. Also, Browns tight end David Njoku has broken out over the last 2 months, with Joe Flacco at the helm for Cleveland. At least 21 people were injured Monday in an apparent gas leak explosion at the Sandman Hotel in Fort Worth, Texas. And when the Cowboys play at home, their explosive offense is likely to blow up, which could cause injuries to the Packers' secondary. On Monday, pro-Palestinian protesters blocked New York City bridges and a tunnel to demand an immediate ceasefire in the Israel-Hamas conflict. Israel. And the Eagles couldn't get out of their own way in their tilt with the Giants last Sunday. The U.S. is seeking bids from contractors to help establish a domestic supply of uranium fuel enriched to higher levels for use in reactors, a fuel currently only available from Russia. It's also interesting to wonder if NFL teams will view Bill Belichick as radioactive as he seeks new employment.
That's it.
It wasn't that good.
I enjoyed it.
It was no Katie Wingy Taylor Swift making out joke, that's for sure.
That's true, yeah. I'm more of a Katie Gauze guy now. Does the Avalanche stuff real good. Got to get into her.
Oh yeah, no, she's good.
Also, do you know who the culprit underwear girl is?
No.
Colin, I know you love your ad girls.
Oh yeah. Toyota Jan, Lily.
Add culprit underwear girl to your list.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm looking at it.
Definitely.
I'm gonna Google that shit right now.
You should. It's in my feed constantly. And then what I noticed is if you
remember the frap over the shoes.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Yes, I do. I got in trouble because I talked about a commercial where this hot girl was wearing shoes, and then some fucking asshole we know went and told
Had
my
to
wife.
tell your wife
had to
about
tell
it.
my wife how offended he was.
Wow.
God damn, fucking idiot. And I was like, that fucking caused a lot of problems. But I'm not afraid anymore to talk about it.
Good
So
for you, Jim.
yeah, thanks.
So tonight I
Hold on, there's another one
Okay.
too. The Snap phone case girl. Check these, but write them down.
Okay, Snap phone case.
Snap phone case, culprit underwear.
Corporate?
Culprit.
Oh, that's an illicit
Oh my
name.
God.
Got you, Colin. You're gonna be hooked.
Okay.
You're gonna be
All
hooked.
right.
So hey, listen, we got it. We can't keep our guest all night. We got to get into
We
some.
gotta get into
Well,
this.
now hold on. Right before, and I'm gonna let you make that transition. But right before you guys got here, I Googled Katie Wingy boyfriend, and sure enough, she's dating the guy who does in arena entertainment for the Nuggets.
Josh Dover.
Josh Soden,
Oh.
not Dover, unfortunately. That I could totally get behind.
He doesn't do it anymore. He's
Dover?
No, that's he didn't.
How the hell do you
Soden?
guys know all this?
Well, I go to all the
He's
games.
a season
I
ticket
go to all the
holder.
games. He hasn't done it in at least a year and a half.
Oh, well,
listen.
he's kind of a
listen,
douche.
This
He's a real
hold
estate
on.
agent,
This
too.
is now
that's what he does.
legally. This is going to be the case for stalking. When you get to court, they're going to play this back, and it's going to be it's going to use this
Wait, am I
against
an
you.
accomplice?
Yes,
Oh,
you are.
God, jeez.
I'm staying quiet. For
Yeah, please. Yeah, don't say anything. Please don't say anything.
Like, Wingy has overtaken Cameron. That's
Stop.
all I'm going to say.
Well, that's because the Rockies need a better team. Once they put a better team on the field, then you'll start watching.
Well, and she squeezed out a puppy. But make your transition now.
Oh my God.
real quick. Before we get into the Broncos, that some clown prince of comedy leaked some bullshit fucking Broncos uniform this morning. You probably saw it.
Oh, God. It's fucking horrible.
Looks horrible as hell. And I was like, look, I've got plenty of things to say about the Peeners, but they definitely would not approve that because that looks like shit. There's going to be a new uniform, correct?
Yes.
What do you know about it?
Not much.
But it's not that thing.
I hope they
atrocity.
I hope they bring back the D on the helmets. I really do.
The leak that because like it originally just started as a description, and then people started picking it up and trying to kind of piece it together into what you probably saw and what I saw, and it was fucking terrible.
Awful.
I know. I don't know. My whole thing is you cannot update the uniforms and keep the current logo. That doesn't work. That current logo is so 2000.
Yeah.
Like it is buried in that, and that's the problem with it right now. Is it's not timeless like some of the other logos, and honestly, the D logo is timeless.
It's timeless for sure.
And so, to me, you got to find a way to reincorporate it. Maybe it's an updated version.
Why not put the new horse's head, the 2000 horse head, in the D? Now you're home.
Just bring back the D.
What-
Everyone loves the D, Colin.
I love the D.
Hold on, you guys. This is not 2000. It came in like 97.
Yeah, but they were
97,
trying to
yeah.
be 2000. You know,
yeah,
it's
it
like,
was
oh,
modern. It's
yeah.
modern.
You got to find a way to update that. It's funny as I'm wearing it on my chest,
Yes.
but it's not great. It's not great, and I think you're onto something there. What's crazy is everyone is in agreement that we like the color rush, the style of that uniform. Don't overthink this. Just take that uniform, update the logo a little bit, and roll with it. I really hope they don't fuck this up by trying to get too cute with it.
To be fair, I do like that logo. I just think we've seen it for so long. Now we're like, this kind of look. It looks like it looks like the Patriots logo from designed around the same time.
Bring back the D. It's classic. It's like the New
For
York
sure.
Yankees. Boston.
Side note: the
So
guy,
much
and I know we've told the story before. The guy who designed that, I asked him on Twitter if it drove him nuts when it was crooked, and he said yes. He goes, "I see it all the time," because he lives in California. He's like, "I see it all the time crooked, and it drives me crazy because it's not designed to be that way." So. The guy who designed it is upset about it. So don't put your fucking logos crooked, guys. Please don't.
Not just you.
It was not just me, which it might seem like it's just me. But before we get into the Broncos, I just want real quick a yes or no answer. Are we going on parade twice next summer?
That would sure.
Do you
be
know what
fun.
I mean by that?
No.
So
Will the Avs and the Nuggets both win?
will
a
the
title?
Avs and the Nuggets both win a title? I know this is very open-ended. There's a lot of variables.
I think no, unfortunately.
Are we going on parade once?
Yes.
Okay.
I think the Nuggets are going to repeat.
Same.
I think that
Nice.
Jokic has solved basketball.
Dude,
Yes.
when he took 3 shots against the Pistons, it was so hilarious.
Yes.
He was just like toying with them like a little cat toy.
That's right.
And
And he
Really
had
thought-
23 assists.
and they
23.
and
16.
I think it was
but close.
He could have had 23 if he played the whole game. But it's insane the way that he plays. And everyone, as the season, especially as we're in the middle of the season, people forget he's at like maybe 70% right now, and he just cooks teams. When he turns up in the playoffs, there's just nothing you can do. I really think he's solved
Even
the
through
game.
the finals last year, he had a bum shooting wrist.
Yep.
Throughout the entire finals.
So yeah, I think the Avs feel flawed.
A little wonky, right?
Yeah. And it's the goaltending.
Yeah. Well, and there's some lazy defense being played. too.
We should do something like if the Avalanche would win first if they were to win, right? And then like it would be 2 weeks.
It'd be
later,
the Avalanche should be over before the Nuggets.
But it'd be
yes.
like a 2-week difference.
Yeah, it'd be
All right.
nice.
So if the Avalanche win, we need to get a tent and hang out with the homeless. For like a week.
Get a spot on the parade route. Yeah, that's a great idea. You just stay there.
We
Just
just
hang
live
out.
at Civic Center Park for
That's
a couple
awesome.
weeks.
We physically stay on the parade.
We'd have to go to the embassy
Well,
suites
let's
now.
do this.
Let's get right into it. Is Russ going to be with us next year? I know this was a thing with the DNVR Broncos Twitter feed today, and overwhelmingly it seemed that it was a no. Do you believe it's a no?
It's got to be, dude. There's no way.
They're keeping George Payton though.
I know.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
I wouldn't be surprised though if they're keeping him through the draft, because Sean Payton has a guy that's his guy that he would be willing, that he would want to bring in, and I think there's a chance that he's like, okay, well, we have this whole staff around George Payton preparing for the draft. Let's get through the draft and then talk about this. I think that might be what's happening, but there's no way that Russ can be back with the Broncos next year after everything we just went through.
No, and I think one of the things that was kind of blew up was the restructuring or the waiving the injury clauses and all that stuff. Like it'd have to be heavily restructured. They have to say, hey, look, you can't have this, you can't have this in your contract. We need to save money here. If you want to stick around and be the starter and bring along this guy we're getting, cool, but I just can't see how it worked. But to Colin's point, Peyton's still there.
Do you think Russ got the short shrift? I mean, benching him 2 games before the end of the season. I mean, really.
I think what really the bad deal that he got was Nathaniel Hackett. And I mean, look at the numbers that he put up this year. Those are Russell Wilson numbers. But we all have this last season in the back of our head, and it's dragging down everyone's feelings about Russell Wilson. If this was his first year with the Broncos and he was at whatever it was, 26-7 touchdowns to interceptions, like we would be talking about, okay, one more year in Sean Payton's offense and this, that, and the other, and they're going to be able to install more. But because of the atrocious product that they put out last year, like you made the joke about red zone, they might not have been on red zone once last year. And because of that, I think that Russell Wilson and Denver, the relationship is completely, fried.
Do you think he wants to be here?
No. He was in a place in Seattle where he was loved and there was some drama and this, that, and the other. And he came to Denver and everyone was so excited to have him. But Broncos fans are ruthless, man. Like, I've been saying this for years. Playing quarterback in this town is incredibly difficult. You're a Hall of Famer, not just you used to be a Hall of Famer. You got to be playing like a Hall of Famer when you are here, or people are going to, turn on you.
Dude, he got booed at the Nuggets game.
Yeah, I was there. That was crazy. So I don't think he wants to be here. I think he'd like to have a clean slate somewhere where he's a little more loved.
Where? Atlanta?
I think Atlanta.
That's a perfect spot for him.
Most of those Nuggets games, he's been to a bunch of them. I mean, it just turned recently. I feel bad for the guy, honestly.
I feel bad for him too. And only Sean Payton could have made me feel bad for Russell Wilson.
Why is George Payton still here? He did a press conference today, and that made me think, oh, yeah, he ain't going anywhere if they actually put him up there, because they're not going to fire him tomorrow.
No, they aren't. They're not going to fire him anytime soon. My best guess would be that he has a good relationship with Sean Payton. And I think those are kind of hard to come by.
Sure.
So for whatever reason, they clicked.
Thinks he's all right.
And he thinks he's all right. I mean, it was Adam Schefter last week who said something along the lines of like, this is Sean Payton's organization and he's going to do whatever he wants. It was like, wow. So you knew that, but hearing someone like Adam Schefter say that is like, man, like Sean Payton is calling the shots.
So he's calling the shots and he says, hey, listen, George, you're going to be my cabana boy here, and you're going to work. This is what we want, and this is what we're going to go for. So he's probably the de facto GM, kind of telling him what to do. Totally. That would make sense. Sure.
Yeah, and if George Payton's playing along and saying, okay, like I'll do it, then I think that's how you kind of get the relationship that would allow him to stay.
Don't the Broncos kind of have to do that though, considering the position they're in at this moment in time with Sean Payton? Like, you have to give him the reins and let him fail, right?
Yes. I mean, especially
or succeed.
Yeah. I mean, you took a big shot on him, and I'm sure part of his negotiation of whether he was going to come to Denver or not was, well, you're going to have to let me do it my way, because you could tell from the way he talked about Russell Wilson from the second he took the job, he did not want it to seem like Russell Wilson is my guy. He's like, that's someone else's guy. I'm
dealing with it.
I'm dealing with it. And everything that's happened since has felt that way. What's interesting, though, is Sean Payton's never drafted a quarterback and succeeded with him. And I think Sean Payton wants to prove that he can do that, but we don't have anything to fall back on and say, okay, well, we know he developed this guy or that guy. He made Drew Brees a hell of a lot better than he was in San Diego. But you have to be a little bit concerned about the idea of him having to do something that he's never done before. And I think it's, the same kind of idea of like why Bill Belichick might want to go somewhere else and try to succeed there. It's like everyone wants to prove that they weren't a product of something else. And
do you think they will draft a quarterback at 12?
I think so, unless, and this is my, my hottest take that I've been sitting on recently, which is Sean Payton and Tom Brady got in trouble. They cost the Miami Dolphins a first-round pick over colluding to potentially go to Miami together. Is there a chance that Tom Brady comes out of retirement to play with Sean Payton and the Broncos? I mean,
that is the hottest of hot takes.
But like,
it's scorching, but I love it.
Tom Brady retires to be with his family. Well, his family falls apart. Now he's sitting at home. He's doing podcasts and shit. And I have to imagine there's a little part of him that's like, man, I have all this free time on my hands. I'd love to just be grinding tape and in the facility.
And he has been eating babies too.
Well, yeah,
body ready.
that's how you stay fit as an old person. I'm sure Tom's in shape. I'm sure he's ready to go. I think he wants to. Tom needs a good offensive line, though. He needs the protection of it, so he have to have that built up a little bit. That's a hot take. I like it.
My hot take is Justin Fields. And I've been saying it for 2 weeks now.
Well, yeah, it depends if they want to move on from him, but
they're moving on.
but again, I don't know if that's a Sean Payton guy. Is he thinking
Probably
yes,
not.
His
Probably
problem
not.
with Russ is that Russ doesn't play on script, and all
That's
Justin,
the same problem.
Yeah, he's just gonna run for it. So is Sean Payton the guy? I mean, obviously they've committed to him. They've said, hey, we traded this pick. We paid him a lot of money. Is he going to be able to turn it around?
I don't know. And
I like that honest answer.
it comes down to the quarterback position. And I was at Binion's on Fremont the other night, and we were playing craps. And I looked down at the table, and it's like hard 12, 31-1. And I almost feel like the Broncos nailing the quarterback in this draft without a high pick is like rolling double sixes. They really have to kind of get lucky, and they're so strapped for cash now with this Russell Wilson situation that it's like, yeah, maybe Tom Brady comes in and plays for a low dollar amount. Other than that, the only way that the Broncos can get out of this is to finally draft and develop a quarterback, something that not only Sean Payton has never done, the Denver Broncos in franchise history have never succeeded at doing that. So it's going to take luck.
They developed Elway that they traded for.
Yes, that is true. But they didn't draft him.
Technically, they didn't draft him.
And so, I don't know. To me, it's there's going to be a lot of luck involved for the Sean Payton era to succeed, mostly because I don't imagine him looking at like the 10-year plan. He's looking at the 4 to 5 year plan of like, okay, I'm trying to go to Denver, win a Super Bowl, and then get out of there.
Yeah, because he's probably the late 50s, early 60s?
He's in his 60s.
Yeah, in his 60s. Yeah,
I
he's
think he just turned 60.
Okay. Yeah, he did. And no one wished him a happy birthday. That was the whole thing.
Well, listen, Sean, if you want to come on
Happy birthday,
and
Sean.
advertise some boner pills with us, we will definitely take you as a co-sponsor.
We really do have to get some boner pills on board.
We really
I don't
do.
know why I didn't think of that before.
Why is Vance Joseph still here?
He did a really, really good coaching job.
God damn it!
Hold on. For there was a section of the season where yes, he did. It seemed everything kind of clicked. But was that him or was that these guys kind of gelling finally?
I think it's both.
Okay.
But to go from 70 points, he should be fired tomorrow, which, by the way, I was on board with that.
Yeah.
To turning that defense around and almost giving up the least amount of points they've ever given up in the division in Broncos history. I think they needed to hold the Raiders to 16 points, and they would have set that record. There's coaching involved there. And I think it was honestly pulling back a little bit, making things a little less complicated. But you don't see turnarounds like that in season. It just doesn't happen from going to the worst defense in the NFL to one of the best ones. And I think that he deserves some credit for being able to pull that off.
Why wasn't he fired after that? Were they just be like, hey, let's just tank this shit and just keep going? And all of a sudden, everyone kind of like got it together?
The main reason, which I was saying back then, is if you fire a coach in the middle of the season,
it's waving the white flag.
Well, and also, you usually don't hire someone else. So you take someone from internally,
Sure.
and all that means is everyone else has to work more. You have a smaller staff to do just as much work. And so a lot of times you don't see an early season firing like that. When you do see the firings, it's like week 14 or later because it's like, okay, well, we can handle this for a few weeks.
But do you think that turnaround was a surprise? Or do you think, because the players all say the right thing and go, oh, we love him, we think he's great. Somebody just said the other day he should get another head coaching opportunity, Vance Joseph. And I'm like, these guys seem to like him. So is it that finally they all kind of got on the same page with him, or did they just get lucky?
Some of both.
Yeah.
I honestly felt in the early season like Sean Payton was tanking.
Yeah.
Purposefully. I mean, they were doing things, I pointed it out in one of our post-game shows early in the season. I want to say it was the Commanders game, where I was like, Sean Payton doesn't call man-beater plays into zone coverage. Like, that didn't happen in New Orleans. And it happened a lot in that game. I'm like, I feel like he is trying to lose. And there's a part of me that believes they had the crazy comeback against the Bears. They won, another one shortly thereafter. They obviously beat the Bills, beat the Chiefs. And at that point, he was like, all right, fuck it. Let's go for it. But there was part of me that thought he was
told Colin Cowherd that somebody is going to tank for Caleb Williams
He did.
before he took the Broncos
He did.
job.
Yep.
Well, you know what? And it was like all of a sudden, that's probably why he punished Russell Wilson, because he was like, Russ, I was
fucker.
trying to tank.
You
and
fucker.
You just got it together. Vance Joseph, you got the
Maybe it
defense.
was that Bears game. That Bears game, they tanked masterfully. Remember, they went for like 4th down, and they were
But they were down like
incredible.
24-0 and they came back to win.
right. But the Bears like had it won, and they went for it. I don't remember.
Yeah, they did. And they had the scoop and score.
It was incredible. And after that, it's like, well, crap, Bears got it.
I've only
That's
got really one more Broncos thing, and we can wrap it up. But are the Peeners? I call them the Peeners affectionately.
The Walter Peters.
I call
I
them
think
the
a
Peeners.
lot of people do now.
I hope so. I hope it catches on.
It has.
Are they up to the task? I know they've got a lot of money. We've had Cecil was in here and he spoke.
Cecil
highly
said
of them.
D-Mac.
D-Mac.
Cecil said it's going to be a legacy.
D-Mac was very
Dynasty.
complimentary of them.
Dynasty.
Obviously, they didn't buy the team to have it suck and fade away. They want to win. Do you think there's a few things that happened already that they seem to kind of stick their noses in and didn't seem to work out? Do you think they have it in them to get this franchise back where it needs to be?
I think that money goes so far in sports, and because of that, they have a really good chance of being successful here. But they've also never had anything like this, and you can't run a professional franchise like you run a Walmart or run the corporation that is Walmart. And there's certain parts of that, obviously, that you can kind of replicate and be successful in. But I think it's going to take a little bit for them to learn what being owners of a franchise really looks like. Like, I thought it was a joke when they were getting all these pats on the back last year for like, oh, they installed a new field for $150,000 or whatever it was, like, just to have a good one in the last week of the season. I'm like, so
Yeah.
It's called maintenance.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I wasn't impressed by that. Now, of course, you see the Raiders field this last week, and
Looked like shit.
that's embarrassing for sure. But that doesn't make you a successful owner. And what Pat Bowlen did with the Denver Broncos was pretty unprecedented and rare. And I don't think you can get that just by being a billionaire, or a super mega billionaire. I think there's a lot of lessons that they have to learn as to what it's like to actually run a franchise and be successful. But the money will certainly help them get there.
And Pat Bowlen's identity was the owner of the Denver Broncos.
Totally.
And I don't think that's the case with these guys.
I see this in our business. Like, we've never had a lot of success getting someone, even if they had a big name, who was doing content for us as like a secondary thing. It's like the people who succeeded in our company are people who are like, I'm going to make this my life.
All in.
I want to do this and I want to be successful here. And those people are always successful with us. But it's like, oh yeah, I'll do a podcast with you guys in addition to this other thing that I'm doing. Like, that just never hits the right way.
No.
And on that note, I talked about being there for the Chiefs game. I could not believe it when Alexis Perry walked through the door. I was like, what the fuck? Are you serious?
Yep.
I could not believe it. I was shocked.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun to work for DNVR. I was talking earlier off air about how, a lot of times the professional athletes that get into it don't take it seriously. Like, we added Todd Davis to our show, and he's been incredible. Like, he's hanging out in the office, talking with everyone. It's not just like he's doing this just to collect a check and go home. So I have to give a shout out to him because he's been really cool to have.
That's awesome. I love it.
So we're heading to Vegas this weekend.
Oh yeah, shit. That was the whole thing. Snyder was chastising us. We got to get out of here.
We got to get out of here.
We got
Yeah, no. Take your time. We're going to Vegas. I can't. I don't know how to gamble other than when I'm in Vegas. There's no other way to gamble these days unless I actually go to Las Vegas.
Walking up to the window versus putting it in your phone is so much different.
But you know what I do?
So much
now
better.
I go up to the machine. I don't want to talk to him.
I want to talk to the guy.
I went to the machine the first time because that's what Henry did, and then I was like, that felt empty.
No,
It's very empty, but I don't want them to because I only know how to gamble on my phone, and I don't want to embarrass myself. So.
Well, and the guy at the window at Circa, I've had two experiences. One, he was like, I really like this bet. And that really made me feel good.
Yes.
And another time he was like, dude was like, man, are you sure?
Hold on. I've been with him and he was placing bets, and the dude was trying to talk
The
him out.
dude talked me
He was
down.
like, hey, man, yeah, this is.
Yeah, it's a little excessive.
So is he right or is he wrong? What happened?
Oh, he was totally right when he was starting to talk about whatever ridiculous bet. He went and fucking put like $20 on the Rockies to win the World Series like 3 years ago. And I was like, oh man, you could have just bought me lunch.
I do that traditionally every
Oh,
year.
no, that's a bad bet.
Yeah, it's a terrible bet.
I get it. I understand you want to do that. It's cool, but anyway. So what we want to talk about is the games this weekend.
I'm going to
We're
rattle.
gonna be gambling.
I'm going to rattle these
and
off.
I want to know what Ryan thinks.
I'm going to rattle these off real quick. I sat down. I spent a good amount of time, did a lot of research, and I handicapped these games. And I looked at in numerous fucking angles. Here's what I got. Browns 24, Texans 21. So
Wait, hold on. This is your thing.
this is my handicap of the games.
I think you should just give the what it is, the spread, the over under, and everybody can chime in.
Well, okay, fair enough.
Because I'm not tailing you. Right?
But
I'm not gonna.
they have changed,
Okay.
obviously. There were some pretty actually big swings today. Let's see here. I'm opening DraftKings Sportsbook, NFL.
While you're doing that, I just have to say,
Let's just shut off. I don't know if it's dead or not.
There we go.
I guess that's the show. It just said locking and it just went off. I mean, we could still be recording. I have no idea.
no, I just
We're
heard
not.
it go
No.
out. Yeah.
God damn it.
Well, that's the show, everybody.
That's a good time.
Anyway, who do you got for this weekend?
No, let's wait to get this thing back. And then we'll just pick up.
Oh, if you have to restart it, it's.
Did we lose the whole quarter then?
Yeah, 'cause I didn't save it. I only save it afterwards.
All right, we'll see.
Shit. It just fucking like said locking and it spun and then it just fucking went off. So you should have said something controversial at that point, then it would be gone.
Well, we got this stupid thing over there.
That's still going. Oh, if you have to, it might have saved.
I think it probably auto saves.
They can't probably.
Oh man. Okay. Well,
Yes.
let's do that.
Doing the
Let's
show
just,
here feels like
let's just
2003 or something.
yeah. Let's just call it, and then I'll try to salvage what's there, and then it'll just be. Well, fuck. We'll just keep going for this for the people at home.
You know, people at home appreciate
That
it.
this is dead. So anyway, the games this weekend. The first one's the Browns and
Browns,
the
Texans.
Yeah,
I love betting on CJ Stroud.
yeah, man, he's awesome.
I can't get enough. He's so fun to watch. So if I were going, I would probably take Texans money line plus 124.
And are they? It was like 2.5 or
They're
something.
they're 2.5.
They're
3 now. Yeah.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
3
see,
now? Really?
Point dogs.
Oh, so I think you take that. I think Houston at 3 is good.
Dolphins, Chiefs. Now this one is crazy because I saw today that the weather calls for 0 degrees.
Yeah, it's
Which
gonna
would
be
be like
it's
the
gonna be miserable.
coldest game in NFL history or something.
And lots of wind.
Oh my god! And for Miami players,
So I've got that one 21-24 Chiefs.
Yeah.
And a total
Yeah, but
so
Tyreek
total
Hill played there
45.
for years. He's used to it. I mean, he
That's
should be.
what-
used to it.
Well, he's used to it, but Tua's not. Everyone keeps saying that. Well, Tyreek's used to that. Yeah, but Tua's not. And they play in Miami.
I think the over under on that is still too high.
Where is it? at?
44. So you have it hitting by 1 point. I think it's going to be lower than that.
those kind of
The
games.
Chiefs aren't putting on
surprising.
offense.
No. Dolphins defense isn't bad. The Chiefs defense is pretty good.
The Chiefs are winning that shit. I can't believe. I'm surprised.
Yeah,
they're
the Chiefs are going to win.
-4. I've got Chiefs
Is it still
Bills.
going? It can't be still going.
Well, if it is, stop it, save it, and let's.
No, it's still like recording.
Right now. Well, okay, cool.
So here, wait. Well, I can't save it unless.
Save it, and then we'll pick back up.
Okay, I gotta stop it. I'm gonna save it. Let's just try it. All right. All right. Let's just try. Let's just see what happens. We'll just see if we can tap it
It's
out.
picking you
I'm
up.
gonna piece this together tonight. I'm gonna have a couple more beers. We'll see what happens. So, so to recap,
We're never using this laptop again.
yeah, this laptop sucks ass.
Yeah.
It wouldn't. I can't. Well, we got to bring the. Oh, it's picking up this mic. That's the problem here. That's what it was. So it wasn't picking up.
No, it's working
No. It's
because our mics came back on.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but he doesn't have the mics up.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
you're up?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
No, it picked our mics back up.
All right. Well, I'm just gonna start that. To recap, Houston. You like Houston?
I like Houston. It's a little bit of like a betting with my heart.
Yes.
A
yes.
little bit,
Yeah,
just
and I barely like the Browns. I mean, I went back and forth on this one, but
Flacco's going to turn to a pumpkin.
He's got one on his head when he's playing for the Browns.
That's right. So
you know what I looked at? I looked at their average score. I looked at the average score for the Texans at home over the last 5 games because that's how many games Flacco has started. And then I looked at Flacco's last 5 games, and I got an average of 24 points for the Browns, average of 22 points for the Texans.
But there's at least 2 Case Keenum starts in there for the Texans.
God damn it.
anyway, back to the Chiefs. You think the Chiefs are winning? No questions asked.
There's just no way the Dolphins go into 0 degrees and beat the Chiefs.
Yeah, no. I've got that one 21-24, 45-point total, which is just above the over-under.
I feel bad because I really like Mike McDaniel.
Oh yeah, he's
I was
awesome.
pounding the table for the Broncos to hire him, whatever that was. I guess 2 cycles ago. But there's just no way. They got a bad draw on this one, and so I got Chiefs. Honestly, I think probably by a lot.
Wow. Okay. Well, I'm definitely going to root against the Chiefs, but I understand that if the gambling, you have to go a certain way. So then the next day,
Steelers Bills.
Bills will destroy them, right? But
I've got
much.
I've got it at 21-13, total of 34. That's going to be another weather game and high winds,
It's
30 mile an hour.
the over
gusts.
under's 34.
Yeah. Oh no, I've got it at
It's at
34.
36.
See, I think that would maybe go under. So bad weather.
Yeah, I'd bet that under.
I've got. I looked to see on DraftKings today if I could bet this. I haven't found it yet, but I've got Steelers Bills AFC Championship.
Wow. Okay.
Or
Wow.
sorry, Chiefs Bills.
Chiefs Bills.
No Ravens.
No Ravens.
Now hold on. Do the Chiefs have to go to the Bills, or the Bills have to go to the Chiefs?
We don't.
Bills would go to the Chiefs.
Fuck.
Um,
God, I want the Chiefs to lose so bad. Can I just get that? I just want them to lose. That's all I want.
I think you're going to get it. Get the Taylor Swift thing happening.
That's
I
good.
think it's
I
a
like
thing. In fact, maybe throw
Shot.
that element into it, they lose.
Bills are favored by 10 over the Steelers. I've got the Steelers covering because I've got 13-21.
That's a big That's a big number.
for a weather game.
That's a big number for a weather game. And I've found, and I don't know if you guys have noticed this too, in these wild card games, the first round, the whoever's not favored seems to cover a lot more than the
That's a fact.
Right?
Like at
Yeah.
60%.
yeah. What's the next one?
Packers.
Cowboys. Cowboys are favored by 7.5. I've got this game at 38-21. Total of 59. The over-under is 50.5. So I've got this thing going way over. Cowboys at home have been absolutely fucking bullies.
Yep, I'm with you. I've got Cowboys by a lot.
By a lot, right? Oh, I thought maybe maybe the Packers would cover
I feel
that.
like Packers have a way.
I think the Packers might cover that.
I think they'll cover. They're going to lose, but I think they might cover.
All right.
Rams at Lions. Really exciting matchup. Lots of storylines there. They traded quarterbacks. I've got Lions 27, Rams 24, total of 51. The line is 3, so I've got it as push for the line, and the over-under is 51.5 right now. I've got it at 51, so that would put it under. Ryan?
I'm going to bet on history here.
Same.
The Lions have not won a playoff game since I've been alive. That's never happened in my life.
Wow.
I only know one thing, and that's the Lions losing if they do make it. And So I'm going to go with the Rams here. I do love the fact that like this trade worked out so well for both of them.
Yeah.
They're both meeting here.
What score do you have versus the 51.5 total?
Yeah, I've got it under that. I'm thinking more along that lines of like 24-21.
I like the Rams too, but what's the better bet? Them to cover the spread or the money
Let's
line?
just bet that under.
Bet the under.
Let's bet that
All right,
under.
we're gonna talk about it.
51.5.
I'm gonna go to the machine, the computer, and I'll make my bets, and you can go talk.
I'm gonna go talk to the guy with the bow tie.
And the guy's gonna go, look, dude, don't bet the fucking Rockies to win the World Series. It's a waste of $50. That's what he's gonna say. What's the last one? The Eagles.
Eagles
Yeah.
at Tampa Bay, which is crazy. It's crazy to me that the Eagles are at Tampa Bay.
Oh,
but
I didn't know that.
somehow they are. On Monday night, the total is 44, and the Eagles are favored by 3. I've got Eagles winning 24-17 and a total of 41. So I've got the under, and I have got the Eagles covering versus the Bucs.
Colin and I are not on the same page.
Okay.
But he actually put work into his, so I'm just going off the cuff here. I hope that my fiance is not watching this because she's an Eagles fan.
She's Eagles fan, yeah.
To me, the move on this is to live bet the Buccaneers once they go down. The Eagles almost play the same game every week, which is like they go up early, they get comfortable with like a 14-3 lead. Then in the fourth quarter, they go up a touchdown. It's 14-10. Their offense is falling completely apart, and they lose 17-14. I would wait until the Eagles have a little bit of a lead, and then I would live bet the Bucs.
Wow, that is fucking great.
So-
That's a great
And
idea.
you're feeling the under? 17-14 would definitely be under.
Yeah.
44 is the total. I've got the total at 41. And I'm as interested in totals as I am in spreads.
The
I
Eagles,
love totals.
they're so broken.
They are.
It is crazy.
They are, including Jalen Hurts' finger.
Yeah.
This is good stuff. I can't wait to go to the machine and place these.
It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be good stuff.
What's cool about Circa, and also not cool in this specific situation, but they still have real people creating their lines.
Oh yeah.
Everyone else is, not everyone, but most other places are doing, all just computer simulations and all that stuff. I was talking to one of the guys at Circa this weekend. He's like, yeah, we have like a group of 8 people in a room right now. And so because of that, they only offer live lines during breaks.
Oh, okay.
So that was an interesting part of this. But yeah,
And live lines is the one spot where I want to be able to hit my phone. I don't want to have to go to the window.
It's so fascinating, the whole thing, and I love it. And like we talked about when we started, just the whole, people in there just hanging on every fucking play. It's so much fun. So I dig it. It's great.
I'm so excited for you guys. I think like maybe more than anything, I romanticize just gambling with my friends.
Yeah.
It's like the best. Like you go to a blackjack table,
Yeah.
everyone's got bets out. The dealer's like showing 2. You're doubling down. They flip a jack, and then everyone's sitting on the edge of their seat, and it's like the next one's a queen, and you're all losing your minds. Like that is the best.
Oh yeah,
It is.
having friends around a craps table is fucking awesome. Like I haven't played craps since because I cannot get enough people. But if you get enough people around a craps table, man, it's a blast. It's so much fun. It's so good. It's good stuff. Let's get out of here. Let's release you to the
Before
wild.
the computer breaks again.
Yeah, we got some sort of reprieve. I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm gonna comb through this tonight and see what's up. But
If you're at Circa, eat at 8 East. It's like they got like an Asian restaurant there. It's incredible.
nice.
Brisket fried rice.
Listen, when I'm downtown, I only eat at White Castle. I'm sorry. That's all
fair
I do.
enough.
I eat at White Castle. I ate at White Castle and I drank a bunch of shitty beer and I got gout the one time because I fucking ate nothing but crap. I ate a bratwurst at the El Cortez.
Yes. We all have done that. We've all done that.
I had some bathroom trouble and then I got fucking gout when I got home.
And the hot dogs at the Westgate.
I was like, what the hell? I go, what the hell am I doing here? This is terrible. So anyway, Vegas it's a mixed bag sometimes. So, Ryan, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for coming in. This has been great. We've had a great time with you, as always. But it's been great to pick your brain. The Broncos stuff was fantastic. Everybody knows where to find you, but just let everybody know.
Yeah, check us out. DNVR, obviously. I'm on the Broncos pod, of course, and then a lot of work on the Buffs pod. So if you're a college football fan, unlike these guys,
What city's next? BSTN?
we don't know.
We don't know. All right.
I think it's Omaha.
BSTN's got a ring to it. It sounds like BSN.
It does. I think you're the nostalgia's getting to you.
I like that.
4 teams.
Ryan, thank you so much. We appreciate your time. We're going to try not to. Well, who knows the future for us? But we'll try not to have you wait so long to come back. And hopefully, it wouldn't have been a show without something fucking up. So something fucked up, so we know it's good. So hopefully that it won't fuck up too bad, and I can get this on there. So
Appreciate you guys.
thank you, sir. Hey, it's been good times. It's been the South Stands Denver Fancast. Until next time, adios.
We love you, Denver!
It's not an election,
And brother.